All right, so today we are going deep on this Alphabet Inc. 2024 annual report.
Yeah, the good old 10K.
Yeah, the 10K, lots to unpack here.
Always.
And our mission today is going to be to figure out what's really important, what's really interesting, what should we be paying attention to.
We're going to try to find the signal and the noise.
Exactly.
Cut through all the
Yeah.
legalese.
Yeah, all the boilerplate stuff that you
True.
get in these big corporate documents.
Right, absolutely.
And, speaking of big,
Yes.
one of the first things that jumped out to me was this term large accelerated filer.
Yeah.
It's how Alphabet describes itself, like according to the SEC.
Mm.
But what does that actually mean? I mean, like,
It sounds very
in a normal human
bureaucratic, right?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Basically, it means they're one of the biggest companies that the SEC oversees.
Okay.
And that means...
But like Apple, Microsoft, that kind of company?
Not exactly.
Yep.
Big dogs. And what that also means is that they have a massive market value.
Yeah, because I saw the number.
As of June 28th, 2024.
$2 trillion.
About $2 trillion.
Which is just like...
Astronomical.
Yeah, astronomical.
Yeah.
It's hard to even
like picture that much money,
It's an incredible sum of money, yeah.
So we've established that Alphabet is a behemoth.
Indeed.
But what's interesting to me, and this kind of came through in a lot of the language in the report, was how they're talking about their future.
Mm-hmm.
They reiterate their mission to organize the world's information. We've all heard that many times.
Classic.
But there was this new emphasis, I felt like, on building like an even more helpful Google for everyone.
Yes.
What is the strategy behind that? What are they actually trying to say there?
What they're trying to do there is moves beyond just being an information provider.
Okay.
And really become like a force for empowerment.
Interesting.
Helping people reach their goals,
Yeah.
whether it's knowledge, health, happiness, even success.
Success, yeah.
So it's a very ambitious goal.
That's a big one. It's a broad vision, yeah.
That makes you wonder, like, what does that even look like in practice? Are we talking about,
Right.
some sort of Google assistant that manages every aspect of your life?
I think they're definitely hinting at a much deeper integration of all of their services.
Okay.
You think about what they already have between Search, YouTube, Google Cloud, all their hardware products.
Yeah.
The potential to kind of weave that all together into a highly personalized
Oh, yeah.
experience is huge.
So let's break down some of these key products and services.
Yeah.
We all know search is like the bread and butter for Alphabet.
Right, the foundation.
But are they just like sitting back, counting their trillions of searches, or
I don't think they're resting on their laurels, no.
what are they doing?
The report really emphasizes making search more natural and intuitive.
Yeah, okay.
Given all their investment in AI, I think it's safe to assume that they're using those advances to create a much smarter, more responsive search experience.
Okay. And speaking of AI,
Yes.
YouTube's another beast that's constantly evolving.
Absolutely.
It's not just, those funny cat videos anymore.
Right.
They're pushing into education. They're fostering a creator economy, even dabbling in things like live shopping.
Mm-hmm.
What's their end game with YouTube?
It's been incredible to watch YouTube's evolution, hasn't it?
Yeah.
They really want to be a one-stop shop for everything.
Okay.
Entertainment, information, learning, even commerce.
Oh, wow.
And they're doing that by empowering creators, building a community around their platform.
It's a good move given, all the competition they're facing from
Yeah.
the TikToks of the world and the Twitch.
For sure. Got to stay ahead of the curve.
Now let's talk about Google Cloud, kind of their answer to this growing demand for cloud-based business solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really a major player in this space?
I'd say they're definitely making their presence felt.
Okay.
And what I found particularly interesting is their emphasis on AI and machine learning within Google Cloud.
So it's not just, providing storage and computing power. It's like
Much more than that.
giving businesses tools to kind of leverage AI.
Exactly. They're offering cutting-edge tools
Right.
powered by AI
Okay.
to help businesses solve challenges, boost productivity.
So they're positioning themselves as the go-to provider for any business that really wants to use AI to...
If you want to be on the bleeding edge,
Yeah.
Google Cloud is where it's at, according to them at least.
Yeah, let's not forget about their other bets. They're kind of more experimental ventures.
Right.
What's the latest on those?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
We're talking about ventures in health, life sciences, self-driving cars.
Oh, wow.
These are high-risk, high-reward projects that could reshape entire industries.
Are they giving any hints about which of those they're most excited about?
Well, they're pretty tight-lipped about specifics.
Yeah.
Understandably so. Yeah. But they do highlight some progress they're making in things like quantum computing, artificial intelligence for drug discovery.
So they're really looking beyond their core businesses.
Excellent.
And they're kind of exploring the frontiers of technology.
They want to be where the puck is going.
Yeah.
As they say.
All right, well, let's dive into the financial nitty-gritty here.
Let's do it.
No surprise, over 75% of their revenue still comes from online advertising in 2024.
The money machine keeps churning.
But are they making any headway in diversifying their income?
They are. Yeah. And they're actually seeing pretty good growth in a few key areas.
Like what?
Google Cloud, obviously.
Okay.
YouTube subscriptions.
Okay.
And their hardware offerings, too.
Interesting, okay.
So that diversification is key.
Especially with,
the ad market.
The ups and downs, exactly.
Yeah.
The ad market.
Who knows what'll happen?
So let's break down these expenses a little bit. They've got cost of revenues, which includes things like traffic acquisition costs.
TAC, yeah.
Which I always have to remind myself. What is that again?
Yeah, so basically it's what they pay to partners to drive traffic to their services.
So think like, the sponsored links you see at the top of Google search results.
Yep, got to pay to play in this game.
And then they've got content acquisition costs, which seems particularly relevant for YouTube, right?
Absolutely. Keeping those videos coming.
Yeah.
Fresh content is key.
Yeah, and, good content doesn't come cheap.
It's a bidding war out there for creators.
Wow. Okay.
High quality stuff.
They also highlight these costs of, running these massive data centers.
The engine room.
Yeah, the engine.
Alphabet.
It's easy to forget about all the infrastructure that goes into, powering all these services that we use.
The unsung heroes.
Yeah.
The server.
And, we should mention, the costs associated with their hardware devices as well, like the Pixel phones.
Right. Got to compete with Apple.
Yeah, exactly.
Flashing.
And then they've got these operating expenses, which, covers everything from research and development to sales and marketing.
General administration.
And I did notice that, a major chunk of that is employee compensation.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. You got to
attract the best.
Attract the best.
And retain them.
Exactly.
Lots of competition out there.
It's a talent war. It really is.
Absolutely.
But, despite all of these expenses, they're still reporting strong operating income. And a lot of that is driven by the growth in Google services and Google Cloud.
They're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. Seems like those investments are paying off.
So far, so good, yeah.
But, the report doesn't shy away from some of the challenges and uncertainties they're facing.
Right.
And one that kind of jumps out immediately is their dependence on advertising revenue. Right? I mean, what happens if that well starts to dry up?
That's a big what if.
Yeah.
It's a major risk factor for any company.
Yeah.
That depends so heavily on advertising.
Yeah.
The economy could take a downturn, consumer behavior could shift,
Right.
New regulations could come in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things outside of their control that could impact that revenue stream.
And another big one is this intense competition.
Right. Absolutely.
It's not just other big tech companies. It's also these smaller startups that are kind of coming up with disruptive technology.
Yeah. You never know where the next big threat's going to come from.
Yeah. And then you've got the inherent risk of these other bets that we talked about.
Right.
Investing in unproven technologies and markets.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble. Exactly.
But you got to take risks to stay ahead.
Yeah. Well, and especially if you're a company like Alphabet with that $2 trillion market cap.
Yeah. They've got the resources.
Yeah. They've got the resources to make those bets.
Exactly.
But, data privacy and security, those are growing concerns as well.
Oh, for sure.
There's increasing scrutiny on how companies use data.
Yeah. And any missteps there could be costly.
Yeah, exactly.
Both financially and reputationally.
Yeah, they could face legal battles, lose public trust.
Absolutely.
It's a big one.
A huge issue.
And then intellectual property, another area where they're constantly, kind of on the defensive. It seems like there's always, patent trolls, competitors.
It comes with the territory, right?
Yeah.
When you're a leader in innovation.
Yeah. And then there's always the wild card of global economic and political conditions, right?
Oh, yeah.
You just never know what's going to happen.
Right.
Unforeseen events, geopolitical instability.
Things can change quickly.
Yeah.
They're operating on a global stage.
Yeah.
So they're exposed to a lot of different risks.
So even with, this really strong financial performance, there are a lot of challenges on the horizon for Alphabet.
There are, yeah.
But there's one thing they seem to be betting big on. AI.
AI is everything.
Yeah.
It's the core of their strategy.
It really seems like they're putting all their eggs in that basket.
Yeah, they're not just talking about it either.
Yeah.
They're investing heavily in AI research, development, infrastructure. It's woven into every product.
Yeah.
And it's really the foundation for their future ambitions.
Yeah, and that raises a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, is it going to be the game changer that they're hoping for?
Right.
Or will it lead to, unforeseen challenges and ethical dilemmas?
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here, but this is really just the tip of the iceberg.
We're just getting started.
So stick with us as we continue our deep dive into Alphabet Inc.'s 2024 annual report. And we'll see how this tech titan is really navigating the complexities of the digital age.
Stay tuned. So, picking up where we left off, I want to talk more about this whole AI revolution that Alphabet is really pushing.
Yeah, because it really comes across in the report.
Yes.
It's not just about, integrating AI into existing products like Search or YouTube, Google Cloud.
Right.
But they're actively developing entirely new AI-powered offerings.
Yeah, they're pushing the boundaries.
Yeah. What's the most exciting stuff there?
I think, one of the most exciting developments is Gemini.
Okay.
Their most advanced AI system so far.
Okay.
And it's already being used all over the company.
Like what?
Search, Google Cloud, even powering experimental prototypes.
Well, experimental prototypes. Come on, you can't just say that and not give us more.
Right.
What are we talking about? What kind of cool stuff are they working on in their AI labs?
Well, they're always pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
One project that really caught my eye was Project Astra.
Astra, okay.
Which is all about this idea of a universal AI assistant.
Okay, so
like imagine, an AI that integrates seamlessly into your life.
Yeah.
Anticipates your needs, helps you navigate your day.
Okay, I mean, that sounds awesome, but also a little creepy,
Well, yeah, there's definitely some Big Brother vibes there.
Yeah.
But the potential, if you think about the personalization, the convenience,
yeah,
it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, are they giving any hints about how far along they are with this universal assistant?
It's still pretty early stages. They're keeping things pretty close to the vest.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're even talking about it in the annual report suggests it's a major priority for them.
Okay, so they're definitely thinking long term.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you wonder, what kind of data would they need to collect to make this universal assistant really work?
A lot. Even putting privacy concerns aside, the level of personalization they're talking about would require an immense amount of data.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So, that's something to watch, for sure.
Yeah.
But let's move on to another interesting project they mention. Project Mariner.
Okay, Mariner, what's that?
This one's described as an early prototype that can take actions in Chrome as an experimental extension.
Oh, okay, so an AI that can actually do things in my browser.
That's the idea.
That's pretty cool. What kind of actions are we talking?
Well, they didn't go into a ton of detail.
Okay.
But it sounds like they're exploring how AI can enhance web browsing.
Okay.
Maybe through things like intelligent automation or personalized content recommendations.
So like an AI that can, sift through search results for me, highlight the most relevant information.
Exactly.
Maybe even fill out forms automatically.
Make your life easier.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, they're really betting big on AI to change how we interact with technology, both online and offline.
It's interesting.
It's an exciting time.
It is, but, they do acknowledge the potential downsides of AI. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's powerful stuff. In the wrong hands, it could be misused.
Right, and the report emphasizes that they're committed to developing AI responsibly. Oh. They talk specifically about their AI principles, which are these guidelines that govern their AI development practices.
Okay, so what are these AI principles? What do they actually say?
Well, they cover a lot of ground.
Okay.
Things like fairness, privacy, safety, accountability.
Okay.
They want to make sure their algorithms are free from bias.
Okay.
That their AI systems are used for good and not for harm.
Yeah, that seems important.
And that they're transparent about how their AI systems work.
Okay, transparency is key with something like this.
Absolutely.
But, how do they actually enforce these principles?
Well, they have an external advisory council that provides independent oversight.
Okay.
And they've also published a lot of information about their AI development process.
Okay, so they're being open about it.
Yeah, they're trying to be.
Okay, that's good.
But, it's a constant challenge.
Yeah.
To make sure that AI is developed and used ethically.
Definitely. It's a complex issue that's constantly evolving.
Exactly. There's no easy answers here.
So let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Talk about another area where Alphabet is making a big commitment, sustainability and climate change.
Yeah, they're setting some ambitious goals.
Yeah, like net zero emissions.
By 2030?
2030, that's not that far away.
It's coming up fast.
And 2047 carbon-free energy.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And I mean, for a company that relies so heavily on data centers, that's a huge undertaking.
It's a huge challenge, especially given the uncertainty around AI's environmental impact.
Right, because AI requires a lot of computing power, which uses a lot of energy.
Exactly.
So are they just paying lip service to sustainability, or are they really putting their money where their mouth is?
I think they're definitely taking it seriously.
Yeah.
You know, they're investing in research and development to make their data centers more energy efficient. They're exploring carbon-free energy sources.
Okay.
And they're even looking at ways to offset their emissions.
Like what?
Things like carbon capture and storage technologies.
Yeah. So it's a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah, they're trying to tackle it from all angles.
Makes sense given the scale of the challenge.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
But I'm curious, how does AI fit into all this?
Right, because like you said, AI requires a lot of computing power.
Yeah.
And that means more energy consumption.
So how are they addressing that?
Well, they acknowledge in the report that the environmental impact of AI is a big concern.
Okay.
And they're actively researching ways to make it more sustainable.
Okay, like how?
Well, for example, they're exploring more energy-efficient algorithms and new hardware designs that use less power.
Oh, okay.
And they're also looking at ways to optimize their AI training processes.
Interesting. So they're trying to be more efficient with how they use energy for AI?
Exactly. They're trying to minimize the environmental footprint.
Okay, so they're not just ignoring the problem?
No, they're acknowledging it head on,
Look.
trying to find solutions.
Okay, well, let's circle back to their financials for a minute. You know, we talked about how a big chunk of their capital expenditures goes towards building and maintaining their technical infrastructure.
Right, all those data centers and network equipment.
Yeah, but they're also investing heavily in areas that align with their strategic priorities, especially AI.
Yeah, they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, what kind of investments are they highlighting?
Well, for one, they're investing a ton in specialized hardware.
Okay.
Things like TPUs, tensor processing units.
Okay, I've heard of those.
They're designed specifically to accelerate AI computations.
Okay.
And they're also expanding their data storage and processing capabilities to handle all the massive data sets that are needed for AI training.
So they're building the foundation to support AI at scale.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're not just dipping their toes in the water, they're diving in headfirst.
So it's clear that they see AI as a key driver of future growth.
Absolutely. It's their big bet.
Okay. Well, we touched on some of the legal challenges they're facing, especially those antitrust lawsuits.
Yeah.
But let's dig a little deeper into those.
Okay.
What are the accusations against them?
Well, one of the biggest cases involves their advertising technology business.
Okay.
The Department of Justice, the DOJ, has filed a lawsuit along with several state attorneys general, alleging that Alphabet is abusing its dominance in the ad tech market.
Okay.
Basically stifling competition.
Okay, and how are they responding to that?
Well, they're fighting back, of course.
Yeah.
They've got a whole legal team defending their interests.
Yeah.
But these lawsuits are incredibly complex, and the stakes are high.
What kind of remedies are the DOJ and the attorneys general seeking?
Well, it varies.
Okay.
Some are talking about big fines.
Okay.
Others are calling for structural changes to Alphabet's business.
Okay.
Potentially even breaking up the company.
Wow, that would be a huge shakeup.
It would be a seismic shift in the tech landscape.
Yeah, I mean, it could change how digital advertising works entirely.
Exactly. And these legal battles are being watched very closely.
By everyone.
By everyone, yeah. Regulators, competitors, the public.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. The outcomes could have far-reaching implications.
And it's not just in the U.S., right?
No, they're facing similar challenges in Europe.
Yeah, Europe's known for being tough on big tech.
Absolutely. The European Commission has already hit them with some hefty fines.
Yeah.
And they're currently investigating several other aspects of their business.
So it's a constant battle for them on multiple fronts.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, how are they managing all this?
I mean, it's got to be tough
Yeah.
to fight these legal battles while also trying to innovate and grow. It's a delicate balancing act for sure.
Well, and speaking of legal challenges, let's talk about data privacy.
Right.
That's another area where they're facing a lot of scrutiny.
Absolutely.
So what are the specific issues there?
Well, there are various investigations and lawsuits related to how they collect, use, and protect user data. There are concerns about transparency, consent, data, security.
Yeah, and this stuff is complex.
It's a minefield.
Because the laws are constantly changing.
Right, and different jurisdictions have different rules.
Exactly, so it's not a one-size-fits-all solution for them.
No, they have to navigate a patchwork of regulations.
And it's not just about complying with the law, right?
No, they also need to build trust with users.
Yeah, be transparent about what they're doing.
Exactly, and be responsible stewards of the data they collect.
So it's a delicate balancing act for them.
It really is.
Because they need to use data to improve their products and services.
Right.
But they also need to respect user privacy.
It's a tough needle to thread.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this going forward.
Yeah, it's definitely a key issue to watch.
All right, so we've really gone deep on this annual report from Alphabet.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
And I think we have a pretty good understanding of their overall strategy and the challenges they're facing.
Definitely. It's a fascinating picture of a company at a crossroads.
Yeah, but before we wrap up, I wanted to circle back to their financials for a minute.
Okay, sure.
We talked about advertising being their main source of revenue.
Right, the cash cow.
But they're also making a push to diversify, right?
Absolutely. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
And what stood out to you in terms of those efforts?
Well, one thing that really jumped out at me was the growth in their Google subscriptions, platforms, and devices category.
So that's things like YouTube Premium, Google One, Google Play app sales, Pixel phones, all that.
Exactly. All those things that people are paying for directly.
And they're seeing some serious growth there.
Yeah, the report highlights the increase in paid subscribers for YouTube services in particular.
So people are willing to pay for ad-free YouTube and exclusive content.
It seems so.
It's interesting how YouTube has evolved,
Yeah, it's gone way beyond just those funny cat videos.
From a free platform to a major player in the subscription world.
It's a smart move for Alphabet, to create these multiple revenue streams.
Especially with the uncertainty in the advertising market.
Exactly. Got to stay ahead of the curve.
Now, we talked about some of the legal challenges they're facing.
Right. Antitrust and data privacy.
But they're also dealing with a lot of intellectual property disputes, right?
Oh, yeah. It comes with the territory.
I mean, they're constantly defending themselves against patent infringement claims, copyright issues, that kind of thing.
When you're innovating at that level, you're bound to attract legal challenges.
And these battles can be expensive and time-consuming.
Absolutely. Even if they win, it takes a toll.
Yeah, it diverts resources. It can slow down their progress.
It's a constant battle for these big tech companies.
So looking back at this whole deep dive, what's your big takeaway from Alphabet's annual report?
Well, I think it paints a picture of a company that is incredibly powerful, but also surprisingly vulnerable.
Yeah, I see that.
They're dominant in so many areas, but they're facing these mounting challenges on multiple fronts.
It's a real balancing act for them.
Yeah, trying to maintain their growth while also navigating this complex legal and regulatory landscape.
And their bet on AI is huge.
It is. It could be a game changer, but it also comes with risks.
So what does the future hold for Alphabet? I mean, it's hard to say for sure.
Right, we can only speculate.
But this report gives us a lot to think about, a lot of clues about where they're headed.
It's a fascinating case study in the evolution of a tech giant.
Definitely. And I think it raises a lot of important questions about the role of technology in our lives.
Questions that we all need to be thinking about.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Alphabet Inc.'s 2024 annual report.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a fascinating journey, and we hope you've enjoyed it.
We encourage you to check out the full report for yourself and draw your own conclusions.
It's a dense document, but it's worth the effort.
Absolutely. It offers a unique glimpse into the inner workings of one of the most influential companies in the world.
And as always, we appreciate you tuning in to The Deep Dive.
We'll see you next time.